And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land and my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
You know, I'm doing pretty good, Mike. Yep, had some great appointments this week.
Got to eat at some nice restaurants.
We did. We got to eat at a nice restaurant, and got some got some stuff with my church family tomorrow and extended family.
Nice.
Tomorrow, going to be a busy day tomorrow, so I appreciate you making time tonight.
I'm doing a motorcycle ride tomorrow at 10-ish, so 10:30-ish. So, you know, if we did our normal time, I'd be pressed against that a little bit.
But no, it's Mission Day for our church community group, so we're unloading some hay at the mission ranch that we support that does horse therapy and counseling, and then it's a get together with Amy's side of the family for her and her dad's birthday. So
yeah, is that this week?
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Amy's birthday is Tuesday.
Hopefully my wife has it on the calendar.
All right, Mike. So how was your week? Mine was pretty good. It was a good balance of
I tell you what, Rich,
time off and some flex scheduling, so I could be home to watch some Cubs baseball.
I was off today too.
Well, I wasn't off today.
Oh, I was off today.
I got home a little early.
I was off today. I watched. We're in that season of the school year where we're finally getting caught up. We're not getting a bunch of tickets coming in. We're doing a lot of maintaining things and getting some things done. Mm-hmm. And that means that, you know, there is some free time there.
Good. And you've got a lot of flex time. You got to use that.
I have multiple days already of extra flex time. So I took a day off today, and it was great. So, I'm just having fun. It's been great. And spent the day with my daughter. The preschool didn't had a PD day for their teachers today, so I got to take her and I went to Sioux Falls and had a daddy-daughter day there, and man, it was awesome. We had a great time. It's the fact that she just wanted to be around, like, was cool, just hanging out with me. And then we get home, and I had just drove a couple hours. I needed a break. I sat down on the couch, and guess what? Both her and my son come over and just cuddle up with me. She spent the whole day with me, and she just wanted to cuddle with me afterwards. I was, man, I'm loving it. So, anyway,
certainly a good blessing. Certainly a good blessing
to have. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Some stuff we haven't even previewed to you guys that we actually need to talk about this week because, you know, stuff is happening in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, we're going to talk about NHL finals and the NBA finals. Because those are getting ready. The regular season for NBA, I think, starts this week, right?
I know hockey does for sure. I'm not sure.
That's what I meant. NHL starts this week, and then hockey, I think, starts either next week or the week after. It's soon. So, wow. Plus playoff baseball. What else we got, Rich?
Well, Mike, we got to talk about NASCAR and as well as our weekly NFL schedule talk and power rankings. It'll be a good power rankings week. So, Mike, all that and more, but what do we got to do first?
We got to go ahead and roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back. Okay, Rich. Sorry, I tried to do too many things with that one.
No, I'm.
But
as long as you brought us back in time, because I can't hear anything. I don't get to hear the intro and when it ends. So in the odd event that you do step away like that, I can't bring us back.
well, I know, but I was watching and I was able to bring it back.
Gotcha.
By the way, thank you for my birthday present.
Oh, you're enjoying it.
I had to pull it off the shelf up there, but yep. Okay.
Yeah, well, so this week, Mike, as we always, before we get into the show, we got to talk about our weekly poll question.
Yeah.
Which this week was bonfires versus hayrack rides.
Yeah.
Mike, I went with bonfires. You can really have a bonfire throughout the fall season. I think most of the time you're going on a hayrack ride because you're going out to apple picking or you're going out to the pumpkin patch. Normally you're probably only doing that maybe once or twice during the fall, maybe a third time, if I had to guess, Mike. So I think that bonfires is something you're probably going to do more consistently. And Mike, we got a lot of good memories just hanging out when we were younger in our 20s.
Yeah.
Just having people over. Hey, we're just going to have a bonfire.
Yep.
And that was the only reason why people brought over. So friendships were built over bonfires. And so I had to go with bonfires.
I agree 100%. One of the things that I wish, I mean, I understand we go to bed way earlier now, but I really wish I had people that would just come over and sit and have a bonfire and, you know, hang out, play bags, shoot the breeze. Ooh, that reminds me. Okay, we're gonna do a side tangent here, but I need to work up to it. So, Rich, the results of the poll question this week. 5 people voted for bonfires. 1 person voted for hayrack rides. So bonfires win. The hayrack ride was Ron Lehman's. That would be your father-in-law.
Joining us with bonfires, well, my mom, Pam Hendricks, my brother, Josh Hendricks, and you're sensing a theme here, my wife, Amy Hendricks.
Good on ya.
All right, so you can always find our poll questions on Fans of Balls and Sticks over on the Facebook. And it's usually shared to both Mike and I's profile. So make sure to go out there and check it out. And there's always a link to our poll question in our show description, whether you're watching us on YouTube or picking us up out in podcast land. This week, Mike, we're going to go with our number 1 overall seed for fall activities of tailgating versus our number 9 seeded jumping into a pile of leaves.
Okay, Rich, you ready?
Go ahead.
It won't let me do it.
What am I waiting on?
Boom.
Okay, it looks like a scoreboard.
It's a Jumbotron video board.
Okay.
6 foot by 10 foot.
Okay.
Buy that, mount that on the outside of my TV. Outside. Imagine watching football games with a bonfire on a 6 foot by 10 foot video board.
Okay, I think we do have one buddy. I do have a buddy in our group that has like this inflatable screen that you use, an inflatable screen that he uses along with a projector, and we watch Monday Night Football.
That's cool. But this is
one week last year.
This here is, and I'm gonna see if I can. I can't make it bigger. Okay.
You'd still have to find a way to mount that, though.
Oh, I can figure that out. I'm a smart guy. I know how to mount things. I'm just saying, how cool would it be? And it's only $1,000. I'm half tempted to offer him $500.
And see what the counteroffer is.
Yeah. He started at $2,000, Or it started at 2,500. It's down to 1,000. I think the guy just wants to get rid of it. I might offer him $100.
Does it work though?
I have confirmed that it does work, and it's the exact same style as the one that I use at Okoboji.
Mm.
So in theory, I can get it back. I can get it working. Have a 100 and
But how? I mean, but Mike, you also did just say, I mean, you wish we had more people around to just come over and hang out. And
I'd be fine watching I'd fine with it watching the football game.
yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, but how often would you use it? Because on the flip side with bonfires, I still voted for bonfires. But one of the still things that we always gave my mother-in-law a hard time with, she was saying, "Oh, I want a new fire pit." It's like, you're never gonna use it. And I think they've used it like once or twice since they got it as a gotta have it. I really want one.
Rich.
If I had one, I'd use it more often. If I had a
Rich.
nice one, I'd use it more often.
Rich.
Yeah.
Different idea. I mount it behind me, and we use it to play random videos on while we're doing our show. I'm just saying. You're telling me that wouldn't be awesome?
Then where would the fish tank go, Mike? It's already a little bit of a tight squeeze behind you.
Rich, I appreciate what you're saying, and I know that you're speaking accurately. But it's a 136-inch TV. 136-inch TV. You're telling me that wouldn't be awesome?
I don't know. It's one of those things. I'd have to see it. And then if you're using it for the intent of doing outdoor entertainment, how often are you going to use it? To where you're buying the bracket to mount it like to the garage somehow, and then because with the weather, it isn't like that's something you can keep stored and mounted year round. So how often are you going to use it?
Yes, you can. Ours at work is mounted outside year round.
Oh. Okay.
And
Fair enough.
you're also talking about the guy that grills in negative 20-degree weather. Monday Night Football's on. I'm outside grilling. I got a bonfire going. I might be enjoying a nice beverage. And I have a 136-inch TV that I can watch.
I'll believe it when I see it, Mike.
Oh, it's not happening.
All right, Mike.
You know my wife. She'll never let it happen.
Let's keep this show rolling. Let's get back on track. Do you see what's coming up next?
A left turn.
It is a left turn, Mike, and what's after that?
It's a right turn because we're heading to the Roval in the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on the eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Last week they were in Kansas for the Hollywood Casino 400. Your winner and Rich's pick, Chase Elliott. My pick of Kyle Larson finished in 6th, which is quite respectable. Austin Dillon finished 27th, 1 spot ahead of Alex Bowman at 28. Rich holds the lead, 20-17. I thought I was 2 behind last week. How am I 3 behind this week?
Okay, so
Because we were tied and we were splitting, and we were tied and we were splitting, and then you won both, which meant that you were up by 2. And then we split, and now I'm down by 3? Make the math make sense, Rich. While he does that,
Yeah.
we're gonna head to.
Let me see that.
We're gonna head to the Charlotte Roval. But before we do, did you hear about the $50,000 penalty given over to Carson Hocevar this week?
I did not.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar got a $50,000 penalty safety violation for revving his engine and spinning his tires, while the crew was trying to get him hooked up to the tow truck. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Carson. I love you to death. I think you've been doing great things. I think you're going to be one of the biggest stars in NASCAR here soon. The problem is, when you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. And what did you do this week? You made a stupid mistake, and you decided to do a stupid thing, and you got a stupid prize. You lost $50,000. He then proceeded to go on to do a stream while he was doing something. I don't know what he was doing, but a Twitch stream to fundraise $50,000 for his penalty. But
Okay. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Okay. But I do have a problem with the fact that I forget you get 2 points for first place. I forgot about that. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. I was wrong. Anyway.
Well, I'll go over the scores.
No. I trust it. Anyway, but yeah, Carson, I don't mind you being slightly reckless with other drivers, but when you're doing stuff like with the safety crew, no. I would have sat you for it. I would have said no. You lose a week. Like if we can't trust you while the safety crew is literally trying to mount your car onto the tow truck, you don't deserve to be here. Period. Anyway, Rich, do your maths.
Okay. So totaling up the regular season races going into the playoffs, it was 15 to 13.
Mm-hmm.
And with the playoff points, you took 2 points for Darlington. You got 2 points for Darlington, taking you to 15. 1 point in St. Louis for 16. A point in Bristol for 17, and your 1 point in Kansas for 18.
I forgot that we give you 2 points for winning the race. I forgot about that. That's how you got the extra point.
I get an extra point.
That's all you had to say.
15.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it now. I was following as soon as I realized that your guy won and you get an extra point. That's where you got the extra point from. That's where what I was confused about. We're all good.
So it is 21 to 18. 21 to 18 going into the Bank of America Roval at Charlotte. So, Mike, before we move on,
yeah, what did you think?
What did you think of the Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace racing there? Denny Hamlin had no power steering, could have pushed his driver probably to a victory.
Yep.
But chose to go for the win and wrecked both of them and caused both of them to lose a lot of positions because he was going for a win.
You got to go for the win. Like that's NASCAR. You have to go for the win. Period. If you're not going for
wouldn't he have gotten more playoff points finishing second and helping his driver that was below the cut line move to the next round? His own driver from the team that he owns, who's below the cut line?
He feels like this is going to be his last chance to win the playoffs. And if he has to do what he has to do, I appreciate that. So one, what does this tell his team? It tells his team that just because I am the car owner for Bubba doesn't mean that I'm going to give him special treatment. Okay? And we've seen this multiple times with him and Bubba, and we don't care. But if he would have pushed him to the win, then people would have said, well, he just pushed him to the win so that he would give a bet. You know what? Maybe. But this, you can't argue this, that he's doing it out of favoritism. You can't say that he's not being competitive. The other question is, are we guaranteed that Chase Elliott doesn't still have, with 4 tires, doesn't still have something for these guys and isn't going to still make the win?
I don't know. I guess still being a newer NASCAR fan, this is where I'm still kind of scratching my head between the whole, how can you own a team but be racing for another team, albeit they're in the same manufacturer. But you'd think that...
So let me clear a little bit of that up. Let me clear a little bit of that up.
I know. We've talked about it before, because you had Dale Jr. He owned... Dale Sr. owned... He raced for one team, but he had his own racing team, and he was in it for himself, not necessarily...
So that's part of it. For himself. That's part of it, and I'm not denying that. But I would also say, and this is where I also argue it, it's about winning more than ownership too. And this is where I was going to say. I'm glad you brought that up. But my actual argument is 2311 is just it's a subsidiary of Joe Gibbs Racing. It really is. I love Denny Hamlin. I love Michael Jordan. They are 2 of my favorite people of all time when it comes to sports athletes.
Okay.
However, they just bought. They are the owner. So back in the day, there was legally you were only allowed to own so many teams. I think there still is a limit on 5 or something. But Rich, let's say I win the $2 billion jackpot. I do enough wise investing that I'm going to be able to live the rest of my life. But then I have $100 million and I decide I'm going to buy a NASCAR team with it. And I buy a NASCAR team that owns 5 cars. Then I say, well, and we do really well and I'm making lots of money. And then I say, hey, Rich, I want to buy another car. I'm going to buy another charter. But I need somebody to do it for me. So you're going to buy it. You're going to somehow have the private equity to buy another charter and to do all the stuff. I'm essentially going to run the team, but we'll build you a shop. We'll do all the things. We'll make sure that you're okay. It looks legit. But it's going to be my team. And that's essentially, NASCAR has done that for years. If you didn't know, DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, was actually a joint venture between, well, it wasn't a joint venture. Dale Earnhardt himself owned the entire team. However, this is, again, where people don't understand all the way, but Richard Childress helped him out a lot. Later, after Dale died and Teresa was running the show, they started partnering with Hendricks. Most of the Toyota drivers or teams, Toyota runs a lot of the team stuff. But even still.
But the Chevy side is more aligned with Hendrick Motorsports.
Not always. Not always. Sometimes, but the bigger one is actually the fact that Joe Gibbs wouldn't have allowed that to happen without him getting something out of it, and it's essentially a Joe Gibbs joint venture as well. So it's why there's talk about the driver. Who's the one that has it in his contract that he has to be a chartered car?
Reddick.
Yeah, Tyler That's why there's talk that Tyler might go over to Joe Gibbs and run a Joe Gibbs car next year.
Oh, to where Denny they'd switch rides
Yep.
because it's in his contract. He has to have a charter.
Essentially, yeah.
All right, Mike. So before we give our picks for the Roval, locked into the next round, joining Chase Elliott is Ryan Blaney. No other drivers have a confirmed locked into the next round. Below the cut line, Mike. I guess our favorite drivers. Your favorite driver of Denny Hamlin is in the number 4 hole. My preseason pick to win Your preseason pick to win Christopher Bell is in the 5th slot. My preseason pick to win of William Byron is in the 6th. But my favorite driver, Ross Chastain, is below the cut line in the number 9 spot. Joining him below the cut line is Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and Austin Cindric. All right, Mike. So the Bank of America Roval. For the playoff driver, I'm going to go with Christopher Bell. He's got a pretty good track record here on the Roval, and I don't know if Chase Elliott will be as aggressive on a road course, not necessarily needing a victory. And I've recently picked Kyle Larson, so I'm not going to go with Christopher. So I'm not going to pick Larson. Mike, who are your picks for a playoff driver and a non-playoff driver, since your non-playoff driver finished above mine at Kansas?
I'm going to go with Joey Logano.
Okay.
As I think he has a decent track record at the Roval. And then, obviously, we're at a road course of some sort. We are making left and right turns. So, obviously, I have to go with SVG.
All right, Shane Van Gisbergen. I don't blame you.
If I hadn't taken him, you probably would have, right?
Yeah, I would. I would have. So my pick, I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. He's got a good track.
Okay.
He normally does pretty well at the Roval.
I mean, he sleeps in his own bed when they're at the Roval.
Yeah, but I got to go with Kyle Busch. He's wanting a win. You got to.
Yeah.
He's had a rough couple of years since going over to RCR.
By the way, can I make the statement that doing a Roval makes no sense at Charlotte to me? I'm sorry. The Roval at Charlotte makes zero sense. I say it every year when this race comes around. You're in the heart of NASCAR country. Why not do the race like a NASCAR race? Okay, that's all. I'm done. I hate the Roval. I hate it in Charlotte. It needs to put it in make Kansas a Roval. Make Texas a Roval. Something. You don't need the Roval in Charlotte. Okay. I'm done with that.
You can catch that race over on the USA Network and Peacock.
Ooh. Speaking of, did you hear the big news?
No, I did not.
NBC Sports Network is coming back.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I highly expect that a lot of NASCAR is going to be on there next year. That's where they're going to put their cable stuff. So, okay. With that, let's how about you take us out of this corner?
All right, so that was the NASCAR Corner presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, and you can also find them on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Mike, good week for the Chicago Cubs, as the bulk of our talk is going to probably be on the playoff series, but they did sweep the Cardinals and they did win their 3-game series against the San Diego Padres.
And how did they win that 3-game series, Rich?
They won it in 2 games.
No, they won it in 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They won it in 3 games, giving them 4 total wins. So, Mike, you got it all right with the sweep of the Cardinals and that they would win the series in 3 games.
And I said that it would be a win-loss win. I had it all right. I'm just saying. Anyway, great week for the Cubs. It's going to be rough. I thoroughly enjoyed. I watched at least parts of all of the games. One of the games, I didn't tell you this, slight detour. I get the game on, I go do a thing, I come back, there's no power in the building that I'm in. And we're supposed to have an esports event. We'll tell you about that at the end of the show. That's called a teaser. So I didn't end up getting to watch the rest of that game. So that's kind of a bummer. So
yeah, I got to watch all of games 1 and 3. Wednesday is my late day because I meet with a kind of like a I meet with a group of guys in the mornings for our cohort study for the institute for the courses that we're taking through our church on Wednesday mornings. So I got to work 8 to 4:30 on Wednesdays. So, but I did have the game on the radio. Was streaming it online while I was working.
Yeah.
For Wednesday's game. So, Mike, takeaways out of the series: Dansby Swanson putting on a defensive clinic out there, saving tons of runs or killing rallies with key defensive plays.
My favorite moment of Game 3 was Dansby Swanson, "You shall not pass," quoting. Dansby Swanson saying, "You shall not pass." to any ball coming his way. Quoting Lord of the Rings, which, you know, I'm a big fan of. So, MVP of the series at least, right? If he
I think I probably would give him the MVP of the series.
The hard part is that when they do the MVP for the playoffs, even if look, again, let's say that the Cubs make it all the way through and win the World Series, okay? If Dansby Swanson doesn't do something with his bat, he likely doesn't end up as the MVP. It's either going to be a pitcher or it's going to be somebody that's hitting a critical home run or hits multiple home runs. So Dansby, even though, you know, much of the reason why they were able to keep the lead on Thursday was his platinum glove level play that he was doing.
Yep, I agree. I mean, especially that ball where it went off the heel of his glove, bounced up, but he stayed with it and
made the throw
because the runner gave up on the play.
Yeah,
he knew it. If he would have ran it out and not assumed that, whoops, that's a catch, and started going towards the dugout, that's a single. And then they walked the guy. That could have led to a run. Yeah,
oh man, so much a difference. Like his locked down shortstop position was phenomenal. I'm here for it.
PCA made some good adjustments to get back in.
Yep.
Back into the swing of things. The power's not there like it was in pre-All-Star break, before the All-Star break, but he's getting on base, and if he can get on base, then that means that he can turn a single into a double.
Yeah.
A double.
That is very accurate. So
hopefully he stays hot and keeps going into the series with the Brewers. Mike, the pitching staff was analytical Craig Counsell at its best, with pulling the guy once he's gone through the lineup 2 times. The only time where that wasn't used was with Shota Imanaga in Game 2.
Yep.
And the funny thing is no sooner than Ron Coomer said it, of, you know what, if a base runner reaches with Manny Machado on the blind, that's when you got to go to the pen. What'd they do?
Went to the pen.
They did not go to the pen.
Oh,
Manny Machado.
Yeah, you're right.
Bases Manny Machado. He hits a 2-run homer, and that's what ended up putting the game out of the reach for the Cubs on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think even they were saying it. I mean, Craig Counsell was managing so much by the book, and this one time where he manages with his gut of letting a starting pitcher stay out there because he's cruising as they were cruising instead of going by the book of it bit him, and the Cubs, that was the game the Cubs lost, but luckily they went back to the formula and managed by the book in game 3.
Yep.
So that also using an opener in game 2. What did you think of the opener strategy?
I understand it. I'm not a huge fan of it in general. I have so many issues. Like, I don't love analytics in general. So I think baseball is more than just analytics. And that's where I have a problem with it.
Okay.
So
I agree with you. I don't really like the idea of an opener, especially in the playoff baseball, but at the same time, would you have been comfortable? Are you confident with any of the guys that were starting to say, regardless of how, if the game stays close, get me to the 5th inning? Because the Cubs just don't have that ace pitcher that you can throw in there and pencil him in for 7 innings.
I agree. So I'm not saying I disagree with it. I just.
But using that opener, you probably also used one of your more better relievers to get through the 1st inning, and he's not available. And then he's not available for a critical part in the game.
And that's one of the problems. That is one of the big problems that I have with it, is that he is and has been one of the best relievers we've had all year.
Or at least in the month of September when they were coming down the stretch.
I would argue all year, man.
We didn't even have him all year, Mike.
Well, the entire year that we've had him.
Okay.
Since we've had him. I'm sorry, you are correct. But since we've had him, he has been one of the best players we've had. And it's I don't know, maybe it's me.
Yeah, but I get where you're coming from with Dansby Swanson as an MVP candidate. The other guy I think you got to give an MVP to was Danny Palencia.
Yeah.
Coming in, blowing smoke, throwing smoke out there, and getting key outs. Multiple innings, relief appearances, just getting people out and getting it to the next person in line to get the ball. So
no, I like that. I can see that. One other thing that I would also talk about is, and again, this goes against the Cubs, but how about 11 pitches of 104 miles an hour or more, or 102 or higher? What was it? Was it Wednesday's game?
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday's game with Mason Miller.
Yeah. What? I mean, I understand that that's kind of, again, where we are with major leagues and how that works, but yeah.
And he's young too, so he's gonna be a prominent figure in that San Diego bullpen for a couple of years.
Yeah.
If not the closer, he'll be that multi-inning reliever that could easily lock down a 7th and 8th inning before you turn it over to your closer. I got, Mike, one final thing before we turn our attention to the Cubs-Brewers series. What was your feelings on the TV scheduling with MLB not wanting to have games overlapping, and from a central time zone standpoint, putting games at noon to 5, and I think it was an 8 o'clock?
Personally, I didn't mind it. I like baseball, so I appreciate being able to watch a couple of day baseball games. I like that you get, if you want, you can just watch all of the games. I think that's a cool thing. But I also understand, 8 o'clock's a late start. I did not watch any of those games, and I probably wouldn't. But I don't personally necessarily have a problem with it.
Yeah, but my problem wasn't with the 8 p.m. start time with the West Coast game, because the game is in the West Coast, so you got to kind of play to their market as well. So to me, it makes sense to start a game at 9 Central or 9 Eastern because it's out on the West Coast. My issue was from a home standpoint, from an attendance standpoint for that home team, is that why was one entire series, Cleveland and Detroit, why did that one playoff series always get stuck in that noon Central time game?
It's an East. By
all means, it is a East Coast bias. To where are you going to put Yankees Red Sox in at noon?
Yeah,
in a noon time slot. No, you're not going to do that.
It's an Eastern one, and it's the only Eastern one again that makes sense being at that time of day. So it's for them a 1 o'clock start.
Yeah, it would be a 1 o'clock start. For
them. 1 o'clock starts aren't crazy. Now, what sucks? What sucks is that it should, you're gonna have a hard time, unless you're the Chicago Cubs and you sell out games in the middle of the day all the time. You're gonna have a hard time filling up a 1 o'clock spot. Now, it's a playoff game. You're Cleveland. You haven't won since 1948?
Yes, I believe. 48 or 45, I think it's for them.
Yeah. You are...
And your team just came back from a 15.5 game deficit to win your division.
And you don't sell out? That's... nope. I'm fine with it. Personally, I don't mind those games, that time frame. That's not a problem to me. But I can understand if you're a Cleveland person being a little annoyed with it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't like it as much. I think you could have easily have scheduled. I'm not considering the West Coast game because that needs to be in their specific to their prime time zone of 7 o'clock with a 7 o'clock local time, but that means it's 9 o'clock. That means it's 9 o'clock in our time zone. But I think I would have almost rather had, maybe not for every game, but you could have easily done a National League game and an American League game going on at the same time. And then if one game is a blowout, that gives you a chance as a baseball fan to flip over to the other game that might be a little bit more competitive. It could have made for a better TV broadcast of being able to have in-game highlights going back. Hey, let's see check out just what happened in the Cleveland game. Or blown it wide open, having picture-in-picture to give a brief highlight during a pitching change or during an in-between inning check. But that also means less commercial time and less dedicated TV dollars going towards advertising by not having overlapping games and splitting your audience. I think that baseball is so much of a regional sport that from a national standpoint, a Cleveland-Detroit series probably doesn't have as much national appeal as a Boston-New York series does.
Oh, I totally agree. Which is hilarious because Boston, New York is two of the closest teams that aren't in the same cities. So,
and that series always gets primetime game coverage during the regular season.
I mean, when you were in early college and I was in high school, late high school, the first couple years after, and it was the when the Yankees were trying to overcome the curse, and we just like everybody was glued to the Yankees Red Sox game. Everybody, always. It was great. Anyway.
So I don't. So, and the TV schedule, I don't think is really getting much better for the upcoming series. As you're going to have, from the Cubs' perspective, you're going to have a game on Saturday, an afternoon game.
Yep.
Somebody's got to play in the early time slot. Might as well be the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one.
Then you're off on Sunday.
Can't compete with football.
Game 2 is on a Monday night. Monday night in Milwaukee. And then you're off Tuesday because you got to travel down I-94 to Chicago. You'll play.
Which, by the way, if you're at
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep.
And then you have an off day to travel back up to Milwaukee for a decisive Game 5.
Yeah.
I do not like all the days off, whether they're planned days off or the travel days. That's a lot of rally killing.
Nah, I'm fine with it. I mean, playoffs always have lots of travel days built in, though, Rich. They always do. Always.
I can understand giving a day off to go, all right, you got to come down.
If you were a player, here's a question. If you were a player for the Cubs, would you opt to have a helicopter take you to and from Milwaukee every day?
No.
Sleep in your own bed?
No.
Okay.
Stay in the city.
I mean, it's only an hour and a half. I think
then
you're right.
not being a team player. Then you're not being a team player because you're.
What if I charter up a helicopter for everybody? We're having a team sleepover at my house. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong. It was a question.
I personally don't like it. I mean,
if you're Ron Coomer, do you do it?
A broadcaster, yeah, you could probably get away with taking a chopper or going home, especially with the off day.
Yeah.
Go home, make an appearance at your restaurant, and then turn around and go back up. So where you're there in time for the Monday night game. And then turn around right back home. Then turn right back around home and go home. But I don't know. I mean, it's playoff baseball. I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, if you don't want to, dedicated fans will find a way to get your TV dollars.
Yeah.
Get your TV rating dollars. I mean, it is TBS and Fox. Or what else is going to be?
Well, right now it is, but it was all ESPN for the ESPN
for the wild
paid.
Card, yeah.
ESPN paid a lot of money for it.
Yeah. But
okay.
Going to the NLDS, going to the DS, you got the National League on TBS. You're telling me reruns of Friends or The Office is going to get higher ratings than a Major League Baseball playoff game going up against NFL football?
I'm not. I get you, but the question is, are you giving up revenue that you could get? Because you're not going to win that. You're not going to win that anyway, and you're not trying to compete. So you want to get as much money out of the games. Now I think going up against the Monday night game, who's playing Monday? Which, by the way, we're at 48 minutes.
I know.
We're talking. I'm glad. Like, I enjoy this, but we're running long, so we gotta start.
Okay. Anyway, that's my piece about the TV schedule.
Okay.
I don't like it. I think it's gonna be. I mean, by all means, if the Cubs come out and drop game 1, then I'm probably not as upset about it. All right, we got the day off to kind of reset. And
even if we win day 1, I think it's fine. All right.
Okay. Cubs Brewers, Mike. What's your prediction?
I want to say Cubs, but I've been harping on how good of a team this Brewers team has been since the All-Star break, and they don't show signs of stopping. But they do have a couple key injuries, I'm going to say Cubs in 5.
Ooh, you're flipping.
I'm flipping. I said,
Flipping.
So for everybody, we go through and predict on beforehand. Taking injuries into account, Cubs in 5.
Okay. I'm going to go Cubs in 4.
Okay. I originally said Brewers in 5, but with the injuries, and technically they have until noon tomorrow to activate anybody and all that. So whatever. But
Okay. So Mike. All right. I like it. I'm being hopeful. I'm hoping that the time off that the Brewers had this week of having almost a week off of not playing any big baseball games, they'll come out a little rusty tomorrow and get some wins. So Mike, let's skip my little story about how about there were no hitters in this entire league, this entire baseball year. We'll skip and talk with that next week. So Mike, let's go over to the NFL. A quick recap of week number 4, and then we'll make our picks for week number 5. The Bears beat the Raiders 25-24.
Thank you. Blocked field goal.
A blocked field goal. So Mike, I am 3-1 picking the Bears games. You are 2-2.
Okay, Rich, locks of the week. You had honors last week, so you picked the Commanders over the Falcons. The Falcons pulled it off.
No, I picked the Commanders to win the game.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay. The Falcons pulled it off, which means you dropped to 3-1 on the year. You were perfect. I picked the Lions over the Browns. The Lions won big. So I am up. I am at 4-0. Rich, upset specials. You picked the Jets over the Dolphins. The Dolphins won. You still have yet to win. To make one of these predictions. Rich, how'd I do?
Mike, you picked the Chiefs over the Ravens. The Chiefs won 37-20, making you 3-1. And finally, Thursday Night Football yesterday was the 49ers and the Rams out in Inglewood. The 49ers won 26-23 thanks to a goal line fumble by Kyron Williams, which allowed them to march down the field for a game-winning field goal. Mike, I am 4-2 picking the Thursday games. You are 2-4. Mike, week number 5, lock of the week. Who are you going to go with?
Lions over Bengals.
I like it. The Bengals just can't move the ball with a backup quarterback that could be a third string on other teams. And a bad offensive line. That's a recipe for disaster. So I like it. I would have taken that pick if you hadn't. But I will go with the Bills over the Patriots. It could be a shootout, but that Bills team's pretty good. So I think they can win it. Mike, who is your upset of the week?
Upset of the week, I'm going to go Saints over Giants.
I don't know about that one, Mike, but I'm also the guy that hasn't gotten one upset pick right. So I'm hoping my luck changes this week as we'll take the Seahawks over the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers got a lot of injuries, and Seattle normally plays pretty good at home.
Thursday night, we see Philadelphia going to New York to play the football Giants. Rich, is this even a pick, or do we just let it go to autopilot on that one?
It's got to be the Eagles going into Jersey and getting the win.
Yep. Okay, with that, Rich, we're going to skip power rankings, and we'll push that off to next week. By the way, I had them done like Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So, boom.
Good deal.
Rich, NBA Finals, we'll put that off because I know that they don't start this week, but the NHL does. So we'll do that real quick. NHL Finals, I'm going to pick the Oilers over the Lightning.
I will take the Hurricanes over the Avalanche.
Okay. With that, Rich, any shout-outs for the week? As we alluded to, you have at least one.
I do. I got to say a happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Amy.
Yeah.
So her birthday is Tuesday, so she'll also get a shout-out next week, too.
Yeah, she gets 2. Wives always get 2. No matter if it falls on their birthday, they get 2 shout-outs. Amy, thanks for letting us do this show every week. I know that sometimes we do it when you're sleeping on your own and you're a little chilly, and sometimes we're doing it in the morning when you might be wanting to do other things. But I appreciate that you let us do this every week. So shout out to her. Oh, my sister-in-law's birthday is tomorrow. So
Okay. Mike, any a quick update about the esports?
So I teased that we had a power outage. It happened at like 3 o'clock. We're supposed to play at 4, and we don't know how long it's going to take for the power to come back on. So I call the other coach, who we were playing Esterville this week. I call him, who's a good friend of mine, by the way. I'm like, hey, we're not going to be able to play. Sorry, this is what's going on. What? That's crazy. Do you want to? Well, no, they cut a line in our construction team cut a line. It's going to be hours. Oh. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. So I'm waiting for all my guys to get there. I'm telling them, hey, we're not going to have practice. We're not playing because we have no power. We'll just deal with it, and we're going to do tomorrow. I'm literally in the middle of making that statement when I get a phone call. The other coach said, hey, how about you guys just come over? So I said, give me 5 minutes to make arrangements. So I call, I get all the arrangements made. We go over, we play, we lose. It sucked. But it was fun, and we play Tuesday. So hopefully we have to win out in order to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So, okay. With that, Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.